Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to my Ruby lessons. Today we'll go on with our lessons with classes. I mean object-oriented programming classes, and within this framework I will give many examples with classes and instances and objects creation and using them to print out. And without wasting time, I'd like to start up our course. Here I create a class person called person, and our attribute accessor is a name, and after that I define a method initialize name, and here I gave the name, and after the block, after the end block, I here create a object of a person, a class, and I gave a parameter David as name, and here p.name will be assigned as Bob. It's possible with this example I would like to show you that you can change the name of you can change content of a parameter. At first it was David, and after that I changed it to Bob. After I use the puts command to print out p.name, new value, new string will be printed. Okay, Bob will be printed. Let's go with our next example. Here I go on with our class examples. This is attribute accessor with two parameters. Just be careful about this: semicolon name, semicolon age, two parameters, and I here define a method, initialize method. This is the end of initialization method, and here I define another method. Its name is change, and change method accepts two parameters such as n and a. Self.name equals to self.name will be assigned n, and self.age will be assigned as a. Here just self means current, in fact, similar to current, and after this change block I define another method here, show underscore info method, and by means of puts command, I'd like to print out the self.name and self.age, and you remember the structure to print out in a combined manner number and strings, and this is the end of the class. And here I create an object P of person class, and this is the keyword to accomplish the job. And here I give two arguments. One is string David, and the other is numerical 28. And here I change the content of this object, and Bob and 42 will be printed. And I also here would like to show you p.show info method. That's to say, we can use methods with objects, with instances, with classes. This is another example. for this. Okay, Bob is 42 is printed out. Not to mention once again, classes are some sort of structures, templates, and once you have created the class structure with subclasses and super ones, you can easily define create objects, and you can easily define extra methods such as like this and like this, and you can manipulate them by using these methods whenever you create an instance of a class. Let's go with our next demo. I here simplified the class structure as possible as it is. Class test is my class, and here I define an initialize method. It accepts one x variable, and this is my variable self.calcx, and this is the end block, and here define another method here, calc y. It's gonna return y times 4, and it's to be printed out this value, and end block, the final end belongs to class end, and here I create a object of test with an argument 2. So let's make it run and see. Okay, 2 times 4 gives 8, will give. This is the most simple form of structure. I here initialize it, and I here use a calc method, and so it's to be printed out, and I create an object of that class with parameters, of course. Okay, let's go on with class methods. Here I create person class. I here define self.info method, and it's gonna print out a person on the screen. This method ends here, and class is closed here. Class is ending here. Just simply by saying person and the regarding method, we can print out, we can execute what it is inside the class. Okay, just here without using any object creation, just directly we can call the class, and with its specific method. Let's go on with our other procedures. Our class calc simply includes one method, square method, and it accepts one argument, and here square of x is calculated here, and this is the end block. So just I would like to print out calc.sqr5. Actually this is gonna calculate a value, and I would like to get it printed. Okay, so easy. Okay, 5 times 5 gives 25. Okay, let's go with another one. I here would like to mention class variables. Class variables can be created by using two at sign. Here my class variable count is initialized, and here I define another initialize method here. Within this method, my class variable is incremented by 2. This is the short form, as you remember, and this is the end block. I here get create another method, get underscore count, and this class variable is just will exist to be got in fact. And at the end of the person class, I here create one object P of this class. Person.new is the structure, standard structure, and here again I here another object of this class, and I would like to focus on, I would like to take your attention here. This process is repeated twice, okay? 1, 2, 1 and 2. So within the class there exists an incrementing mechanism, so count is expected to increase by 2 as a result. So just I'd like to get it printed, person.get count, just to get the count as incremented. Okay, let's get it printed. Okay, just as we expected, initial value is 0. It's created twice, so the value, the current value equals to 2. Okay, let's go on with our next demo. Here just it is as possible as simple. It is as possible as simple. Class X and do something here, and here the creation object creation formula like this, and here object data is this is the structure to print out is by accepting, by giving an initial value here. Just this is another structure, this is another option, you can use it. Object data to 2. Okay, let's go another one. Here I define a calc class. P is assigned 3.14, and this is the end of the class. So I'd like to get it printed the class P variable. So simply it's gonna print 3.14. So how is our next example? Here I intently gave an erroneous example that gives an erroneous error. Here I define a person class, and here I assign some codes here, and this is the end of the class. I here create a object of this person and new, and as a silly action, before mentioning anything, I would like to get it printed P. In fact, it prints something, but it prints the address, memory address of this info. Just we can run and see by ourselves. Okay, of course the instant memory counter is different from this original one. That was this when I created this file at first. This is so normal. Okay, let's go on with our class examples. Here I define a class, and I define a method, initialize method with 2 parameters, n and a. This is our variables, name and age variables, and this is the n block. I here define toString, toS method. This by means of this method, the data is changed to string. So the string will be like this, hashtag curly bracket name, curly bracket is hashtag age, years old, and after ending blocks, ending keywords, I here create an instance of person with 2 parameters, Hassan and 59. This is my age. I'd like to get it printed, puts P. So simply the data is already converted, changed to string, so Hassan is 59 years old, will be printed on the screen. And how is our next example? I'd like to mention here about inheritance. We can create classes in nested manner. For example, here I created dog class, which is a member of animal superclass, and I here insert some code here, and this is the end of this class. So class, another class, I define another class, car class, which is a member of vehicle class, and end. The structure is so easy, so simple. In our next example, I'd like to mention this. Here I define an animal class with initialize method, name and color, and this is our variables, name and color, and this end block. I define another speak method. It's gonna print out puts hi on the screen, and I here define another subclass which is a member of super animal class, and this is the end. Here I create a object of dog class. Actually, a dog is a member of animal superclass. This is the keyword which is necessary. I create this dog class with two parameters, two arguments such as Bobby and Brown. So I make a relation here with speak method. This is our object, and this is the relevant method. So after after I run this program, this snippet, I get hi. Okay, guys, this is the end of this course. I know at first it seems some confusing, this inheritance structure, inheritance, objects, object creation, objects with methods. However, if you watch a few times my lessons regarding these topics, you will understand, and you will write your own examples, and you find it very useful when you use in a sophisticated programming. And for time being, this is the end of this course. In next course, I will go on with these structures, and at the last course, I'll give some examples for file manipulation, file creation, file reading, etc. Thanks for watching me, and keeping peace up to next lesson. Bye bye. Have a nice day.